Here are 7 tips for having a difficult conversation around sex with your partner. Hey guys, I'm Stephanie Ganowski, sexologist and sex coach for men. And these tips can actually work with any difficult conversation, so it doesn't have to be just sex. Number 1, choose the right time and setting. It always works better for you to not just come out of nowhere with this conversation, but to say, hey, I really have been meaning to talk to you about X. Do you think we could talk later tonight after dinner? Specific. It's prepping her ahead of time, and it's giving a time and place, right? It will probably be in the kitchen or living room post-dinner. Tip number 2, use I statements. You will most likely want to bring in the blame game. This happens when we say, well, you blah, blah, blah. Well, you never want to try anything different in bed, right? And even if it's not coming across judgmental, that you phrase makes it seem like you're blaming her. I've been feeling like I'd love to try something new in bed versus you never want to do anything new in bed. See the difference? Tip number 3, frame it as a positive conversation. It might sound something like, I love you, and I love the fact that we're together, and I know that we've had great sex before, so that's why I'm having this conversation with you, because I care about you and I care about our relationship and I care about our sex life. I want it to be great. You know, like you're coming in with those good intentions, that positivity of reassuring, hey, I love you. I'm saying this because I love our relationship and I prioritize our sex life, right? Those are all good things coming from a positive viewpoint. That makes a big difference in how the conversation goes versus if you were to start it with, I'm really stressed about this and I'm really, upset with you. It's like, whoa, right off the bat, your partner's going into defense mode and they're going to block off their listening ears and it's going to be more of a battle than it is a productive conversation. 4th tip to have a difficult conversation with your partner around sex is to be clear and specific. It's so common for people to be like, hey, we have to talk about our sex life. I'm not happy. And it's like, well, I'm not happy either. Maybe if you did this, blah, blah, blah. And then you just go off on rants and there's no intention, there's nothing specific you're trying to ask, or there's nothing specific you're trying to tell her. It's a mess. It's an emotional rant. And then you leave that conversation feeling like, why did we even do that? I'm even more upset now. What do I want to get from this conversation? What's the point of it? What do I want to ask? Like, what are the answers I need? And what do I need to share? What do I feel the need to get off my chest? A 5th tip to help you have a difficult conversation about sex with your partner is to be open to her perspective. So this is also something most of us need a lot of help with, because if our partner's perspective is hurtful to us, then it makes us want to lash out. It makes us want to hide. We fear so much the responses that we don't want to hear. And it's often why we don't have conversation in the first place. But when we do hear those answers we don't like, we can't shield ourselves. We can't run away. We have to face the answers we don't like and be open to listening anyway. That's the only way we're going to understand our partner and understand how to resolve the situation or come to a conclusion or meet in the middle, however you want to call it. You have to be open to hearing things that you may not like. And that's the point of difficult conversations, right? It's like to get good at difficult conversations is to self-regulate, is to keep yourself calm while even hearing something that may be an emotional attack on you. And remembering, hey, this is just my partner being open. I'm not being attacked. I'm okay. And you want to lean into it and even speak out loud. How it's really hard for me to see it the way that you're seeing it, but I'm trying my best to listen to you and to understand your point of view. So always acknowledge her thoughts and emotions, even if they don't align with yours. And this keeps the conversation feeling balanced, not one-sided. You are the one initiating the sex conversation. That doesn't mean that you do all the talking. It means you start it and then you make sure it's a balanced conversation. I'm sharing my viewpoint, now you share yours. Back to me, back to you. There's balance. There's not blah, 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 which is going to make your partner feel attacked and make her want to hide or shut down or not talk. The 6th tip to help you have a difficult conversation about sex with your partner is to practice patience and empathy. Whatever she's feeling is valid. You don't have to understand it fully to validate her feelings. You just have to be there to acknowledge them and empathize. The 7th and final tip to having a difficult sex conversation with your partner, follow up with action. You want to check in on each other with any agreements you've made after having this conversation, right? And holding each other to those agreements. This shows you're taking it seriously. This shows you are committed. I hope these 7 tips helped you have more confidence to have that difficult sex conversation with your partner. I wish you the best, and I'll see you in the next video.